On the 28th of November, two of the best boxers of the modern era, Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., stepped into the ring 20 years too late. In response to the announcement, most of us were like the UFC's president Dana White, perplexed and amused.
Prediction for Tyson versus Jones Jr.?
I don't know. It's such a tough one to call. You know, when's the last time we saw either one of them fight?
It's easy to call.
Easy to call? What is it? Tell me.
Roy Jones.
By what? Knockout?
Well, there's no knockout, so it'll just be a,
There's no knockouts?
No, they're not.
They're not allowed to knock each other out?
No.
Too dangerous.
The first thing that had people scratching their heads was the age. Jones was 51 and hadn't boxed professionally in almost 4 years. Tyson was 54, and he hadn't boxed in 15. It didn't seem to make a lot of sense to anyone that wasn't them at least.
My mindset is totally bliss. This is something I've done all my life since I was 13 years old. I'm more evolved now than I've ever been. My objective is go in there with the best intentions of my life to, disable my opponent. And that's just what it is.
We're freaks. That's why this is such a big thing. We're two guys, two of the most explosive guys to ever touch a boxing ring. At 54, I would have watched him beat the mitts in the bag more rather than any other young guy right now because it's so exciting. And at 51, I'm so fast that people are looking at it saying they gotta be speeding this up. No, they're not. But when you got two legends like that, how can you not get right? He inspires me just by how hard he's working and how much he's preparing to get back in the ring. And he's 3 years older than me. So if he can do it, why can't I?
The second thing was the modified rules of the exhibition match, particularly the 8 two-minute rounds and the no knockout clause.
Well, that's the referee is going to give instructions in the locker room. According to Andy Foster, it's going to be hard sparring. They're not allowed to try to knock each other out.
All right. I'd like to bet that doesn't happen. Can you bet on that? I want to.
No betting on the fight because it's an exhibition.
Oh, you can't even bet on this fight? I did not know that. Okay. Teaching me things, you guys. I don't know. I don't even know what to say to that.
Separately, these two facts didn't sit well with most people, but put them together and medical professionals were dead against it.
As the brain gets older, tissue is not quite as pliable as it was before, so I think they probably are at greater risk of more serious injury, like brain bleeds. It's just not something that I'm a big fan of. This is a sport where the objective of the sport is to knock the opponent out. And by definition, that means the objective of the sport is to create a brain injury in one's opponent.
Despite all of this, it happened, and it was better than anyone could have hoped. Tyson pressured all night, and Jones still managed to show off some of his bamboozling brilliance for 8 entertaining rounds. In the end, the two middle-aged legends wearily hugged in mutual admiration before awaiting a decision that was never going to come. The bout was declared a draw, and both men were given yet another belt for their sizable collections. But whether it was smart or safe wasn't the point. They raised a ton of cash for charity, and that's the victory they both set out to achieve, mostly.
I'm capable of helping a lot of people less fortunate than myself. That's what I'm capable of doing all over the world. In a perfect world, I'm a missionary. In a perfect world. Well, what I'm doing in the ring, I realize is a gift not only for myself. Before it was all about me and the hot chick and the nice car and the planes and the boats, and it doesn't do it for me anymore. I went another way. I help somebody else, I guess, right? Because I don't get into that no more. I like my pigeons and my fancy clothes, but other than that, I don't want anything out of life. It's not a trip, my pigeons and my clothes.
Thanks for watching. And remember, if you want more fight sports in your life, just hit the subscribe button.